Hello everyone. So in the last lecture we discussed fourth qualitative property, that was osmotic pressure. Okay, very small point related to osmotic pressure I forgot to explain, and that is reverse osmosis. Name itself indicates the meaning. Opposite to osmosis is reverse osmosis. What is osmosis? Osmosis means net spontaneous flow of solvent into solution, or solvent of less concentrated solution into solution at higher concentration. That is called as osmosis. In our day to day life also we see example of this osmosis. Suppose you swim for long time, or you work in soapy water for long time, then fingertips get wrinkled. That is due to osmosis. Or pickle is one best example, that raw mango when placed in highly concentrated salty solution, then that pickle shrinks, its size is reduced, means its concentration is less. Water in that raw mango enters into concentrated salty solution. Okay, so these are few examples of osmosis. Now what is reverse osmosis? So reverse osmosis means what? Suppose we have salt water, and that salt water is converted into pure water, or salt from that water is removed. Okay, so that process is called as reverse osmosis. What is that reverse osmosis, or how is it done? Okay, again like last time we will consider here two compartments separated by semi-permeable membrane. One contains fresh water in it, only water is there, and here salt water is taken. Salt water is taken. Okay, now here what is expected? Due to osmosis, water enters into this. Due to osmosis, water enters into this. To prevent entry of water into this, we have applied some pressure on it so as to prevent this entry, and that pressure applied is called as osmotic pressure, right? Here some pressure is exerted so that this water cannot enter into this. Now we want to pass water in the salt solution into this compartment. Okay, so there is also one arrangement to observe whether water enters in this compartment or not. So what we have to do? We have to apply pressure greater than osmotic pressure. If applied pressure is greater than osmotic pressure, means on this salt solution pressure applied is more than osmotic pressure, then what will happen? Solvent in it will enter into this, and that extra water come out through this outlet. So this process is called as reverse osmosis. Very simple. Opposite to osmosis, or flow of solvent from solution into solvent, that is called as reverse osmosis. Okay, in the last lecture at the end I told you that some electrolytes also show these colligative properties. Okay, but their magnitude is different than electrolytic solution. What does it mean? See, for example, we have taken 1 molar NaCl solution, and here we have 1 molar urea solution, or glucose solution, or sucrose solution. Okay, means here we have to take non-electrolyte, here we have to take electrolyte. It is electrolyte means it dissociates completely. NaCl gives 1 molar NaCl contains 2 moles particles, 1 molar Na plus and 1 molar Cl minus, means number of particles present here equal to 2, and number of particles present here equal to 1. More the number of particles, more is magnitude of colligative property. So colligative properties of electrolyte are always greater than colligative properties of non-electrolyte. Means in this case say elevation in the boiling point of NaCl is double the elevation in the boiling point of urea. Getting? So what about colligative properties of these electrolytes? How is it determined? They also show these substances when added in solvent, they also lower the vapor pressure, elevate the boiling point, depress the freezing point. Also they show osmotic pressure. Then what is its exact magnitude? Okay, not equivalent to this. So what is its exact magnitude? That we have to find here. Also one more thing they have given, that colligative property is used to find molar mass of the substance. If we try to find molar mass of urea with the help of colligative property, we get exact molar mass of urea with the help of different colligative properties. But we don't get exact mass of electrolyte with the help of colligative properties. Observe that mass is less than expected, because in this case urea remains as one particle, it is not splitted. But in this case NaCl doesn't remain as one particle in a solvent. Suppose solvent taken is water, NaCl dissociates, it gives Na plus and Cl minus, means NaCl splits, means mass is divided. So observed mass is less than expected mass. Clear? So what did I say? Electrolyte show colligative properties. Magnitude of colligative properties of electrolyte is more than non-electrolyte of same concentration, and molar mass of electrolyte is less than expected value when it is calculated with the help of colligative property. Okay, so how to get actual value of colligative property of this electrolyte? So related to this, work was done by scientist Van 't Hoff, and he introduced one concept, one factor, which is known as Van 't Hoff factor. So what is that Van 't Hoff factor? That we will discuss now. Okay, see. So Van 't Hoff factor, Van 't Hoff factor, Van 't Hoff factor, and it is denoted as I. What is its definition? Van 't Hoff factor is the ratio of, it is the ratio of colligative property of electrolytic solution, electrolytic solution to colligative property of non-electrolytic solution. Non-electrolytic solution means same substance is taken. Suppose same example, here we have taken 1 molar NaCl. So NaCl splits to give two particles. So what is Van 't Hoff factor for this NaCl? Colligative property of electrolytic solution. So its electrolytic solution means it contains two particles when it is behaving as electrolyte, and when it is not behaving as electrolyte means we are thinking that it is not splitted, it remains as it is, means we expect 1 molar solution. So 2 upon 1 is Van 't Hoff factor for NaCl. Clear? So colligative property, colligative Van 't Hoff factor is the ratio of colligative properties of electrolytic solution to colligative properties of non-electrolytic solution of same concentration. Both should have same concentration. What does it mean? See, so first colligative property we studied, that is lowering of vapor pressure. So we can say I is equal to lowering of vapor pressure due to electrolytic nature upon lowering of vapor pressure due to non-electrolytic nature, means this is expected value, right? And this is observed value. So this is theoretical value, this is observed value. So we can say here not. Okay, standard value, expected value. So they have written like this, not in the bracket. So delta P upon delta P naught is I. In terms of elevation of boiling point, we can say delta TB upon delta TB naught. Similarly, in terms of freezing point, we can say delta Tf upon delta Tf naught, and in terms of osmotic pressure, we can say pi upon pi naught. Okay. One more thing we know, that I is directly proportional to number of particles. So we can say, not I, colligative property. Colligative property is directly proportional to number of moles. More the number of particles, more is the colligative property. So this indicates that I is equal to number of moles observed upon number of moles theoretical. Number of moles observed upon number of moles theoretical. Okay. One more important thing. Whatever formulae we derived to find molar mass, okay, with the help of colligative property. In all these properties, see, first property was delta P upon P0 1 is equal to M1 W2 upon M2 W1. If we shift this P0 on this side, then we get this equation. P01 is shifted here. Second equation was delta TB is equal to 1000 W2 KB, 1000 W2 KB upon M2 W1. Third colligative property we discussed, that was elevation of boiling, depression of freezing point. Its formula is also 1000 W2 KF upon M2 W1. And the last property we studied, that is osmotic pressure, pi is equal to W2 RT upon M2 into V. If we observe, left hand side indicates the colligative property, right? And on the right hand side, there is M2 in the denominator. It means that if we consider all these things are constant, from this we can say lowering of vapor pressure is inversely proportional to molar mass. Okay. Elevation in the boiling point is inversely proportional to molar mass. Depression in the freezing point is inversely proportional to molar mass. Similarly, osmotic pressure is inversely proportional to molar mass. So we can say colligative property is inversely proportional to molar mass. Molar mass. So we can write here colligative property, want of factor. What is want of factor? I. Colligative property, theoretical, this is observed upon theoretical. So colligative property in terms of molar mass, how it will be? So molar mass of electrolytic solution, molar mass of electrolytic solution means observed value, okay, and molar mass of non-electrolytic solution means theoretical value. So here I is equal to M theoretical upon M observed. Very, very important. In all the cases, the ratio is observed upon theoretical except molar masses. No one will ask you the theory, how is it obtained, but remember, okay. Want of factor I is lowering of vapor pressure observed upon theoretical, elevation of boiling point observed upon theoretical, depression of freezing point O upon T observed upon theoretical, osmotic pressure observed upon theoretical, number of moles observed upon theoretical, but molar mass theoretical upon observed. Theoretical upon observed. Clear this point? Okay. So in short, we can find actual lowering of the vapor pressure in case of NaCl is equal to I into delta P naught due to standard value, right? Means we can calculate delta P by using this formula. Just we have to multiply it by I so as to get actual magnitude of colligative property. Is this clear? In case of strong electrolytes. Now what is meant by strong electrolyte and weak electrolyte? Strong electrolyte means it dissociates completely. Okay. And weak electrolyte means they do not dissociate completely. So strong electrolyte say NaCl. Then one more is CaCl2. Then Na2SO4. Then Al2SO4 thrice. So how many ions are formed due to dissociation of this NaCl? 1 Na, 1 Cl. So answer is 2. So want of factor for NaCl is 2. Number of ions formed by that electrolyte is equal to want of factor, strong electrolyte. Okay, so here it is 2. In this case, CaCl2, 1 Ca, 2 Cl. So number of ions formed in this case equal to 3. So its want of factor is 3. Na2SO4. Na2 means 2Na. SO4 is whole one group. So 2 plus 1, 3. 3 ions are obtained. Here Al2SO4 thrice. 2Al and 3SO4. So total 5 ions are obtained. So these are all want of factors of these electrolytes. But one thing remember, this is observed only when solution is dilute, very dilute. Dilute means there is 100% dissociation. Okay, dissociation is complete. That time only want of factor is equal to number of ions present in it. If instead of dilute solution we start with concentrated solution, then what will happen? Due to more concentration, higher concentration, the attraction between plus minus ions will be higher. Concentration is more means number of Na plus Cl minus particles are more, so they stay together. If solution is dilute means water content is more, so water separates Na plus and Cl minus ions. Water doesn't allow that oppositely charged ions to come close to each other. But if water content is less and ionic concentration is greater, then there is electrostatic force of attraction between oppositely charged ions and number of particles are reduced. Okay, so while studying colligative property, always we consider dilute solutions. Is this clear? So this is for strong electrolyte. What did I say? So want of factor I, it is the ratio of colligative property of electrolytic solution to colligative property of non-electrolytic solution of same concentration. So in terms of different colligative properties, we get formula I is equal to delta P upon delta P naught theoretical, means expected value, is equal to elevation of boiling point upon elevation of boiling point expected theoretical, is equal to depression in the freezing point upon standard depression in the freezing point, is same as elevation is same as osmotic pressure upon standard osmotic pressure. In terms of number of moles observed upon number of moles theoretical, and colligative property is inversely proportional to molar mass. So I can be expressed in terms of molar mass as molar mass theoretical upon molar mass observed. Okay, so very important. Based on this also we have to solve some numericals. Okay, this is the case for strong electrolyte. So how to find actual value, that I told you, I into delta P naught. Similarly, in terms of elevation of boiling point, they have given this list of modified equations. So delta TB is equal to I into delta TB standard naught. Similarly, delta TF is equal to I into delta TF naught. And last one is pi is equal to I into pi naught. What is pi naught? Pi naught is nothing but W2RT upon M2V. So this is I into W2RT upon M2 into V. Similarly here, okay, we have to put the actual formula and multiplied by I, we will get colligative property due to electrolytic nature, due to dissociation of that substance. Clear this point? Now what if substance added doesn't dissociate completely? Okay, listen to me carefully. So here we have discussed all strong electrolytes. Now what if electrolyte used is weak electrolyte? Means what? Suppose we have taken acetic acid, and acetic acid is dissolved in water. We all know acetic acid is not completely dissociated in water. Means if we take 10 moles, only 2 or 3 moles are dissociated. Just to clear your concept, right? Means dissociation is not complete. All 10 molecules are not dissociated into their corresponding ions. So what to do in such cases? How to find want of factor, or how much is the dissociation of that substance, that we have to find, and that term we call as degree of dissociation. What is degree of dissociation? Extent of dissociation. Degree of dissociation is denoted as alpha. Alpha. And what is its formula? We have one lesson, ionic equilibrium. So in that lesson we will discuss this term. It is, alpha is nothing but the ratio of, it is the ratio of number of moles dissociated moles upon total number of moles. So I said we have CH3COOH and it gives us CH3COO minus and H plus. We have started with 1 mole of this. This is 0 and 0 in the beginning. After some time, out of one, few particles, few molecules are dissociated. Say how many are dissociated? 0.2 are dissociated. So 1 minus 0.2. 0.2 are dissociated means we get this as 0.2. 0.2. What is the amount left? 0.8. What is alpha for this? Number of particles dissociated. How many dissociated? 0.2. How many were there in the beginning? Total number of particles? 1. So 0.2 upon 1, that is 0.2. That is the dissociation of that weak electrolyte, and we call this as degree of dissociation. Okay. So what is the relation between alpha and degree of alpha and want of factor, that we have to find, and that derivation is there. There is a question, derive relation between I and alpha. Relation between I and alpha. I, want of factor, and alpha, degree of dissociation. Degree of dissociation. Consider one salt. Say that salt is AXBY. AXBY. It is weak electrolyte. Weak electrolyte. 1 mole of this substance is taken. So here we can write initial mole. How much is this? 1. So in the beginning there are no ions of this A plus and B minus. Okay. So AXBY is taken and this dissociates to give. How many ions are there? X ions of A. What is charge on A? We write the number at the bottom of this. So say charge on this is Y minus. Similarly, Y times B ions are formed. And what must be the charge on B? It should be, this is plus, it should be X minus. Instead of X, they have taken that value as Z. Doesn't matter. In your textbook, yes, they have taken that value as Z. Doesn't matter, but it should be X. Because, see, I told you, those who were there from the beginning, very first lecture, introductory lecture of 11th standard, I taught how to write formula. Say CaCl2. So Ca is always plus 2 and Cl is always minus 1. We invert these numbers. We write this 1 at the bottom of Ca and we write this 2 at the bottom of Cl, and hence we get the formula CaCl2. So when we have to write its dissociation, ions we have to write. Then this number we have to write at the top of Ca. So Ca is positive, and what is the charge of that positive? What is its magnitude? Plus 2. And the charge at the bottom of, number at the bottom of Ca is the charge on Cl, and Cl is always negative. So it is minus 1. So on the same line, the dissociation of it should be X times A Y plus and Y times B X minus. Or if you write Z minus, then also no problem. Okay, that we don't have to consider. Well, so these are the ions. So in the beginning this is 0 and 0. After some time, it's a weak electrolyte. So equilibrium is established. So at equilibrium what is found? Say its degree of dissociation is alpha. Alpha moles of AXBY get dissociated into these ions. So what is the remaining amount of AXBY? It is 1 minus alpha. How many are formed? It is X alpha, and that of B is equal to Y alpha. Clear my point? See, Al2SO4 thrice. So how do we write it dissociation? How many aluminium are there? 2. So we write 2Al. Al is plus. What is charge on Al? The number at the bottom of sulfate. So Al is plus 3. Plus how many sulfate are there? 3 sulfate ions are there. So 3 SO4. And what is charge on SO4? The number at the bottom of L and negative. So it is minus 2. Means if we take 1 mole of L to SO4 thrice, and when it is dissociated completely, means it doesn't remain in the solution, how many Al3 plus ions are obtained? 2. And how many SO4 minus ions are obtained? 3. So if alpha is dissociated, we get X times alpha of A Y plus and Y times alpha of B X minus. Is this clear? Okay. So this is at equilibrium. This is the relation at equilibrium. Now let us find what is its want-off factor. We have to find the relation between I and alpha. What is I? Number of moles observed upon number of moles theoretical. Number of moles observed means these are the total number of moles present at equilibrium. So observed number of moles 1 minus alpha plus X alpha plus Y alpha upon theoretical mole. We are thinking that we have added just 1 mole of this substance, but one out of 1 few get dissociated. So total number of ions present in the solution, total number of particles in the solution equal to this. And we are thinking that particles added in it equal to 1. Okay. So we get value of I is equal to, see what is it? 1. We can take X common. So plus, not X, alpha common. 1 plus alpha inside the bracket. X plus Y minus 1. Okay. X plus Y minus 1. Let us put this X plus Y is equal to 1. Shift it here. So this becomes I minus 1 is equal to alpha N minus 1. Where N is equal to X plus Y. Number of ions formed in the dissociation, in this ionization, equal to X plus Y. Now rearrange this in terms of alpha. So what do we get? From this equation, alpha is equal to I minus 1 upon N minus 1. Okay. Alpha is equal to I minus 1 upon N minus 1. So this is dissociation, degree of dissociation of weak electrolyte. Is this clear? Question is, derive relation between want-off factor I and degree of dissociation. This is applicable for those electrolytes which are not dissociated completely. So we have considered one weak electrolyte AXBY which dissociates to give X times AY plus and Y times BX minus. Initial moles were 1, 0, 0. After some time, equilibrium is established and out of 1, alpha is dissociated. So we get X times alpha and Y times alpha. So we have to relate alpha and I. So what is the definition of I in terms of number of moles? I is equal to observed number of moles upon theoretical number of moles. Observed number of moles means sum of all this 1 minus alpha plus X alpha plus Y alpha upon 1. So I is equal to, we get I is equal to 1 plus, I have taken alpha common. So what is left inside the bracket? X plus Y and this minus 1 here, minus 1. X plus Y I replace by N. N means number of ions obtained after dissociation. So what is the equation? I minus 1 is equal to alpha N minus 1. Rewrite this equation in terms of alpha. So alpha is equal to I minus 1 upon N minus 1. This is the relation between I and alpha. Write this equation in your notebook, and that's all the theory part of the lesson solutions. In the next lecture, we will solve numericals based on these topics. Okay.